Hello and welcome to this unboxing. Are you wondering what this device is? You should probably know from the title, but I'm unboxing a Moga controller for the iPhone 5 or the iOS, I don't even know. It's an iOS 7 plus like generations forward, so it's compatible for future updates. But it is for the 5th generation because this fits snugly around all the 5th generation devices, which I do have 3 of the devices because basically 2 of them have the same form factor. But these 3 have different, and there's little clips in here that change things up. But this is the Moga Ace Power. So why don't I just get started? And my trusty little cutter open tool thing. So here we go. There's a little, oh, that was easy, a lot easier than I thought. Looks like there's something holding the bottom. At least they're being really secure about it. They double stickered this one side. This is gonna be a joy. Oh man, come on. This is when I wish I was the Hulk, just ripping this open. Wow, this is quite difficult. It's giving me a challenge. It's giving me a game before the game. All right, so I can pull this out. Oh, this is nice. It's actually just a sleeve for it. These, at the time of recording, these retail for $80, and this is really nice packaging too. I can see where lots of the cost went. This controller was released about 2 to 3 years ago. Oh, that is a really nice packaging. It just opens up like this, and here we have the Moga securely in here. Before I get to the meats and potatoes, what does this come with? It comes with 2 pieces of plastic. Yeah, not the showcase here. It has a little baggie with a couple of clips. Let's see what's in this little baggie here. All right. It has 2 plastic pieces to adapt this controller. Don't want to lose those. It has some warranty information. It's not the most important thing in the world, but at least it's there. A user manual, which is nice and looks like it's in 3 or 4 languages. Also tells you how to use it, but this isn't rocket science. A QR code for the application. If you don't have it, and you might be able to scan this code, try. But don't do it if you don't have any of the controllers. And they were nice enough to give us it looks like a micro USB, I'm not sure, it says on the back, a 3-inch micro B charging cable. All right, when it comes to the actual device, it feels very nice. It has a very nice weight to it, but I can already tell right away that it's gonna be a scratch magnet because it's glossy. It feels very, very nice. This feels like a very premium piece of hardware. It looks like it has 2 clips installed already, which I believe these are the ones for the 5S. They just clip in and out of it. I'm gonna remove these because I'll show a brief demonstration on how each of the form factor devices go. When it comes to the analogs, they feel, the analog thumb pads, I'm not quite sure to call these. They are very, very close to being a Nintendo 3DS circle pad. They just don't have as much travel. So I'm not sure how that's gonna really play out until I actually test a game with this device. But it has an A, B, X, and Y button and a circular directional pad, which actually feels very responsive. It may not look very responsive, but it feels very nice to use. These analog sticks are quite nice, and the more you turn them and use them a little bit, they do loosen up quite a bit. So it has the A, B, X, Y face buttons, a pause button, a power button. I'll demonstrate all these buttons and all the different features when I get to it. R1, L1, R1, R2 buttons, which they all seem to be very mismatched and weird. Like, it's almost as if an Xbox had a baby with a 3DS and a PlayStation console because of just how many buttons are kind of put around here, names and labels. So I'll stop talking about that, move that aside. So I have the device here. First, I'm going to showcase what it looks like when I put a iPod 5th generation into this. It's easy. I just need to stick these thick orange clips in here. Make sure I put them in right. Had the wrong side. Oof, it's not that difficult. I'm just not the smartest when it comes to putting these little adapters in. This is my first time. All right, so you see it doesn't quite fit all the way, but you take it and it's spring loaded. So I pull it back and this is first time it's it'll go in. There we go. So it says I have power, 100% charged. This does have a battery. It is 1,800 milliamps of internal battery. So if you need to, it can charge the device. It's kind of wide with the device in here, but the width is very close to a Wii U gamepad, if you're familiar with that. Not quite as wide, but it's not awkwardly wide. But the weighting feels very nice with an iPod 5th gen. So I'll take this device out. Ow. Be careful when you're using this device. So I'll take these clips out. And the next device I'm going to showcase is the iPhone 5C, which you don't need any adapters for because this was perfectly molded for that device. But when you put that in, it just goes in nice, and I can just kind of swipe around, and I'm not going to put in the password because I'm not showcasing any kinds of games with this. Oh, come on. So then we have the last device, which is personally my phone. The iPhone 5S, which is not the most powerful 5th gen phone for the iPhones, but it basically is the showcase model from when it actually came out. So I have to just put this in here. And then I just press this little power button, which will make my phone turn back on. When it comes to ports and little doodads, there's a smart lock, or whatever this thing is called, so you don't end up moving it back and forth. It locks it in place, so basically your phone becomes a handheld. Has a headphone jack, which is very nice, but it also has, looks like sound redirectors, so it'll blast the sound at you. And it has a pause button, which some games are compatible with. I believe most games now, because this has been out for quite a few years. Has the charging port on top. So why don't I get into my phone and open up an app and just kind of go with it. Because we have a firmware updater, which I have the app installed. This has an app which lets you see all of the nice little things that it has to show off, like the features. But I'm not going to update the phone or the controller. So why don't I just close this, go into, let's see, the game that really showcases this, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with this controller. I had to wait for this to boot up, but it should just register as a controller and just work. That's kind of the thing they wanted to do with this controller, was just make it a plug and play. turn off the charging. I don't need a charge. So skip that. Resume. And it is loaded, and this feels quite nice actually. All of the controls work. I'm gonna go outside real quick. All the controls feel like, if you're playing this game and you're worried about San Andreas, it feels like these controls are mapped to the original, or if you play this ever on Xbox or on PC with this controller, it feels the same. So lots of games have custom button mappings for this. It's quite easy to use. The game is actually quite easier with this controller. So it just looks like the controller plugs in and plays. I'm excited to use this as a long-term controller. I actually got this controller because I got the Grand Theft Auto games on the iOS store, because this was basically showcased with San Andreas, because San Andreas was one of the first games. But there's other games that are compatible with it, which the Moga app will redirect you to every application in the App Store that is compatible. It will also update the firmware of the controller, and just feels generally really nice. If you enjoyed this unboxing, make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, leave us a comment. What else do you want us to unbox? If there's any other mobile devices or any other kinds of things that interest you, just let us know. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm Darien. See you later.